Hello Year 4, welcome to part 2 of It's All About Bees in your living thing topic for science this half term. This week we're going to continue our learning about bees and we're going to be doing quite a lot of research, so you're going to need your research skills. We've already thought about how bees are helpful to humans and the environment, and last week we met the bee detective. So we've got a good understanding of bees so far, so let's move on. The first thing that I'd like you to do this week is I'd like you to create a concept map of what I know about bees. And you can see an example of a concept map here. You can see that there are lots of different coloured branches coming off this concept map, and this is a good way to organise all your ideas because you're going to need to have them organised for your activity this week. I know something about bees already, and I'm thinking back to my vertebrates invertebrates lesson a couple of weeks ago. And I know a lot about the anatomy of bees, what the bees look like, what their body is like. So I'm going to put the word anatomy on the green branch of this concept map. And then I'm going to go along and I'm going to add all my information into the other little branches. So I would add that I know that bees are invertebrates, they don't have a spine. I would add that they have a hard skeleton on the outside of their body, an exoskeleton. I could add that they have 6 legs and wings, and I can also add that their body is split into 3 main segments, which are called the head, the thorax and the abdomen. So all that information is grouped together on the green branch of my concept map. So what I'd like you to do now is I'd like you to pause the video and I'd like you to go away and create your own concept map. Welcome back. Hopefully you've got some ideas on your concept map already, but if you haven't, don't worry, that's absolutely fine, because we're going to learn lots about bees this week as we do our research. The next thing that I would like you to do is I would like you to have a look at these 4 images of bees. And I want you to think about what is the same. What can you see that's the same? What similarities do they have? And what can you observe that is different? Now, observing carefully is a fantastic scientific skill to have. So you've got to think about what is it that I'm observing. You could observe the colour. You could observe the size of the bee, the shape of the bee. Is their anatomy the same? Do they all have the same length thorax and abdomen? What's the bee on the lower right-hand corner got on its back leg? Do they all have the same amount of wings? So there's lots for you to be thinking about and observe. So you can pause now, you can observe these bees carefully, and you can make yourself a little list of what's the same and what's different. Right, onto the research part of the lesson then. This is where it gets exciting. You get to go off and do your research. There will be on the Google Drive, if you want one, a sheet for you to collect your research on. But equally, you could just do your own notes on paper. You can use a mind map. You could do bullet points. However you want to collect your research is absolutely fine. You could research by going onto the internet. Make sure that you've got parents' permission to do that. You could research by looking in books if you've got any at home, or online. There might be some online books that you can access, or you might know an expert about bees and you can ask them. I want you to research 3 different things. I'd like you to research the life cycle of a bee, and we're going to have a look at that in a little minute. I want you to research the different types of bees and their role in the colony. What are their jobs in the colony? And I want you to research the dangers to the bee population. I'd like you to pause the video now, and I'd like you to go off and do your research and then come back and join me, and we're going to look at the life cycle of a bee. So here we are with the life cycle then. Hopefully you've got your notes all completed, all your research done. It might be useful to have your life cycle bit in front of you so you can make sure that you've got it right here. The start is where the egg is laid into the cell of the honeycomb, and only one egg is laid in one cell. After 3 to 4 days, the larva is hatched, and then they're fed by the worker bees for about 5 days until they turn into a pupa, a bit like a caterpillar turning into a butterfly. That lasts about 2 weeks, 14 days, and then the new bee emerges. I wonder what role the new bee is going to have in the colony. Right, so now that you've done your research, what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to go back to your concept map from the start of the lesson, and in a different colour, can you add all the things that you've learnt from your research? Pause in video and do that now. Right, so how are you going to share your research? It's entirely up to you this week. You get to choose. What I don't want is I don't want a poster. Posters are banned, we've done those. So there are lots of ideas here of how you could share your research. You might want to show us your computing skills and present a PowerPoint presentation. Could you challenge yourself to put some commentary over the top of it like I've done today? You could be a newspaper reporter and record yourself. You could try a pop-up book, an explanation text, or an information leaflet, or even do a bit of acting. It's entirely up to you. Don't forget to share them on the Year 4 email. Have fun!